Do you ever feel like your animations are a little stiff or non-existent? So every video on my channel actually starts with this little intro scene where these characters kind of swoop in and sit there. Stiff, no animation whatsoever. I've been running this channel for over a year now, learning all these different pixel art techniques, and I think it's time we go back to the start. I want to upgrade that intro and actually animate these guys. This will be the first part in a series where I go through each one of them and give them each a little animation. I'm going to start with easy mode here, doing some animation basics that really anybody can learn, and I'll eventually work my way up into more difficult stuff that I don't know if I can learn. So let's watch that intro again to see what we're working with. It's pixel time! Woohoo! Hey guys, I'm Andrew Robinson of Robinson Pixels. Anytime you're learning new things, I like to break it down into little different sections of stuff. So we're gonna start out with stuff number one, the plan. All right, so this little guy's name is McFarmer. Now McFarmer is the same size that Mario was back in Super Mario Bros. 3, so that's 15 pixels tall, itty bitty little guy, which will make him easier to animate. Now I don't want to change too much in my intro, specifically because actually when I started thinking I wanted to change it, I got this comment that said, please don't stop with this intro. So, alright, I won't. We'll do basically the same thing, but give it some life. So looking back into what it was before, basically my little character's head swoops up, the other characters kind of just fall into place, and then my character transforms. We want to make this actually dynamic and have some real life with these characters. So let's go ahead and get started with that with stuff number two, basic animation. Now first, McFarmer needs a little bit of work. I made this sprite a long time ago, and I kind of saw some things I didn't like about it, so I gave him some upgrades. The obvious thing is that I made his beard a little bit bigger. I made his shoes a little bit brighter too. I just fixed his fist right here because this old, I don't even know what I was doing back there, so I gave him an actual, kind of a hand, and now I could just feel more confident in moving forward with this and saying, yeah, I'm proud of this thing that I made. But how am I gonna go about animating him? I still want him to just fall into the frame like he did in the intro screen, but how am I gonna do that? Well, at the very least, you need two sprites, right? You need the standing frame, which we've already got, and a falling frame to actually get him from point A to point B. And so I made that, ta-da! So he's got kind of an exaggerated little frame here. He's got his arms and legs both up because it's really trying to show that gravity's in motion here. So let's just see what that looks like in action. Boink. Yeah, there it is. It's functional. But obviously I'm trying to go through and make this whole intro video look a little more lively, so I'm gonna do a little bit more than that. So let's move into stuff number three, increase the charm. So him just falling in is a little bit boring, so I kind of feel like I need to add something. Or remove something. Is his hat. We should remove his hat. Yeah. I need a sprite sheet here in order to actually make it look like it's falling off. So we got, him starting out with his hat, and then just slowly it pops up off his head. I think that could be fun. Now, if I were making a real game right now, I wouldn't have his hat probably go up that high, because if you had any more forward momentum, it wouldn't make any sense for the hat to just continue with them. Maybe I would just do a little bitty pop-up thing like that happens to Mario and Mario Wonder, but this is just for me, for a little intro ditty, so we're gonna do it. Let's try it out. Boink. I don't know why I'm boink. I keep adding sound effect, boink. So I think that's charming, I like the way that it just kind of pops off while he's going, woo! So it is charming now, but it could still use a little more stuff. Like stuff number four, squash. Now squashing is a basic animation technique that is exactly what it sounds like. You squash stuff. Specifically with this example right here, this little alien blob I used in an older video, he starts out in his little blobby form and then he squashes down a little bit. And most examples that you find online about squash and stretch techniques usually use something like this, a ball or a blob-like character. But I wanted to know if I could actually use this same technique on just a human, and would that work? So here we go, I squashed him down. Obviously this is not a physically possible sprite right here, right? But also, who cares? He's only gonna be squashed on screen for a few frames, so I think it might be possible that the character still looks perfectly fine in motion. Of course, I had to make a couple extra frames for it too, so he's falling without the hat, so he'll have that hat kind of slowly and gently land on his head. And then I added in this additional frame right here where he's up one more pixel tall. And when you're making squash frames like this, I kind of think about it like a slinky or a spring of some sort. Like it gets squashed down really fast and then it's gonna stay squashed and then it'll expand again. So that's what we're going for. He gets smushed down, so he'll stay extra smushed for 3 whole frames. Then he'll have one where he's going back up into that normal size. So let's see what that looks like. Boink. 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 Yeah. Even though those squash frames were really like physically impossible, it looks natural. I mean, just pull it back up, like it seems completely normal. Your brain doesn't have time to register, oh, he's too small to be doing what he's doing. It's fine, it worked. Then we got one more technique to cover on this guy, but before I pull that up, let me know in the comments if there are any other animation techniques or styles or movements that you want me to do. I've got a lot of different characters in this lineup, so if you got something specifically that you want to talk about, let me know and maybe I'll be able to do that for one of the other characters that we're going to be working with. All right, now let's go ahead and close out McFarmer with stuff number 5, stretch. So right now the character is falling down, he squashes, and then he stands back up, right? But stretch is the other half of this whole squash and stretch thing that is used in animation a lot, and I'm gonna use it here. So let's make him slightly more elastic. Ta-da! He's got a new frame right here. And honestly, like looking at that frame, it almost looks like a fairly decent normal standing sprite. There's not a whole lot of difference between these two, but he's 1 pixel taller. When you've got a character that's this small, 1 pixel actually makes a pretty big difference in animation. So let's see what that would look like all in order. Is it better? Was that pointless? Or a C? Boink. Boink. There it is. I think it's better. So I'm gonna pull up all of these sprites again and we can look at all of the phases that he went through. Realistically, you could do one or none or all of the phases if you wanted to. It's up to you and your world and what you have time to do. But I had time to do this, so let's check it all out. Boink, 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 boink. And that's it. 1 character down and 4 to go. This isn't the first time I've talked about animation in general on the channel. Most recently, I actually had drawn this sort of a mock-up for a cell phone game and animated all of that. This is one of the characters moving in it. That goes over like techniques like smear frames and keyframes. It's kind of useful stuff to know. So if you want to check that out, you can watch this video right over here and follow along for more pixel practice. So anytime you're trying to learn stuff, you gotta learn it as stuff. Sounded good in my head. So I went ahead and made some extra. And I think that could actually make it look fluid. I think it good.